Tokyo with high of only 22. That's it for you. Have a nice day.
Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm back. I am back. Hello, everyone. I know it's been like a month.
That's all for this edition of A24 Newsline. I'm your show Tokyo. Thanks for staying with us.
The pot on the volume control is not getting clogged. It sounds like it's crackly now. This is NHK Radio Japan in English.
Hi there. It's time for NHK World Japan's Easy Japanese. I'm Eriko Kojima.
And I'm Michael Reese. Let's have fun learning Japanese together. Today, lesson 35, expressing what you're going to do or what you've done in order.
So it's the usual easy Japanese lessons for the week, lesson 35. My question is, I don't know if they're going to stay on 11815 throughout the winter. I don't know. I was out yesterday. I wasn't live, of course, but I was out yesterday. I was getting a lot of signals from Asia at around 02 hours. I heard KBS start to sign on in Spanish, KBS World Radio. I heard NHK sign on from France to South or Central America on 6105, and I heard what else did I get? I got KNLS, the new live station from the transmitter in Mahanga, Madagascar. I did not get Voice of Korea during that time, but I can check right now and see if I can get Voice of Korea. Let's try 9435 first. So there it is on 9435. And let's try 11710. So those are the two frequencies to North America. And 11735 I think is to Southeast Asia. My morning's been pretty good here. It's pretty chilly out right now. It's 53 degrees Fahrenheit. Let me turn that 12 degrees Celsius. Okay. So yeah, it's 53 degrees Fahrenheit, 12 degrees Celsius out here right now. It's as we start to change into fall. I mean, we got like colorful leaves here and such like that. The leaves are starting to change on this one. Let me go to this tree over here real quick here. Okay, let me zoom out real quick. Found like this white dot here on my screen. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you can see the coloring leaves. Oh, it's pretty chilly. What time is it there in Romania, signal listener? Which, by the way, I actually, the other day, I got my, oh, okay, so it's 5 o'clock there. I was getting my, what's it called? I got my message read out on Radio Romania. It was pretty fun. Let's try Radio New Zealand, 7440. Which is just a relay of RNZ National right now. Which, by the way, Radio New Zealand has posted their B24 schedules. So all you gotta do is go to www.rnz.co.nz/international/listen, and then you can get the what's it called? Then you can get the B24 schedules for RNZ. Hey, Alexander, pretty good. I know it's been a month since I've been on live. It's definitely getting colder here. Leaves are changing. Looking up ahead, I can see leaves that are changing from yellow to red and such like that. And it's pretty cold. It's like 53 degrees here and like 12 degrees Celsius.
Seems to me Cobra ain't very pure and grady. He's a complete idiot.
Let me try 9675 real quick here. This should be CRI in Russian. I have no idea what I'm doing. I think this might be the first year where I'll actually just watch Halloween movies and eat all the candy in the bowl. I do not have Telegram, unfortunately. Not bad, Smiley. Let me go back to RNZ because they should be finishing up the nightly story, and then you should hear. Oh, there's Peter McAway.
And if you text 2101, spare 20 cents in your bank account, you'll find a link to the episode you just heard and on and listen again to the ultimate one-liner now, which comes from Woody Allen, now age 88. The American filmmaker, actor, and comedian's career spans more than 6 decades. This one-liner, I don't want to achieve immortality through my work.
Yeah, I keep seeing jokes about recently. I keep seeing jokes, Signal Listener, of Transylvania and vampires and such like that. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Terrific rendition of it from New Zealand's Betty Marple Black. At last. Today, music history on the way next.
Oh, one of the a couple signals I heard last night. I heard Radio Romania in French to the east coast of North America. That was on 11.620 megahertz. I also heard them in Romanian on 9.730. I've actually heard the 11.740 broadcast at that should be 04 UTC in Romanian is actually what's it called? It's actually a relay of Radio Romania Actualitate. And so I heard the identification and everything, and I heard the time pip. So I've officially received Radio Romania Actualitate. So I was very excited about that. I think I also heard Voice of Turkey on 9.87. I've been hearing them really well on 11 of those pre-recorded ones because it's very late in Turkey, but that one's been pretty good reception. I've been faintly hearing KBS World Radio from South Korea on 11.810 at the same time. And I'm starting to hear the BBC World Service from the Philippines on 9.440. So I've been getting a lot of stations. I didn't think my telescopic antenna would be reflecting my face. I mean, it is a piece of metal or something like that? I'm assuming it is. Speaking of which, let's try KBS World Radio in Korean, 15575. They're kind of there. I miss when VOA would sign on at around 14 UTC before, because I would hear interference from them, and I'd usually tune up, and I could hear. I used to be able to hear VOA pretty good on 15580. I actually listened to them. We had a half day at school yesterday, which is rare. So I walked home. It was like 1 p.m. here. I think that was 19 UTC, I think. And so I just I was just walking home and I was just listening to VOA. Oh, let's try RRI in German. Oh, not 9660. 9600. Let's take a look here. Woo! Move my water bottle there. All right. Got nothing from RRI on 9600. But I do want to see, can I get Yemen radio right now? 11925. Oh, B+, that's not bad. So I've got Yemen radio under there. It's usually a lot stronger, but I think Radio Marti signs on at 1400. So it's become so weak. Let's go back to NHK Radio Japan here because we got to... Farewell, English broadcast. Oh, let me put my camera down real quick because I did not just bring one radio. I brought 2 radios. Oh dear, not saying why. Oh, I gotta exit the YouTube app real quick. There we go. Sometimes YouTube, when I'm in the mode I'm in, it'll mistake and say that my orientation is locked and then I need to rotate my device back and such, even though it is on the correct setting that I've set it for. So it's weird sometimes. I don't know. I may have to let me crank the radio that I brought real quick because I didn't charge it. I charged a little bit of my my D808 here, but let me try and prop my camera so that way it doesn't say that it's. Hopefully it doesn't slip there. Okay. Let me crank my radio real quick here. Because of course, since I didn't charge it, the only way I could charge it is by cranking it. Okay, let's take a look now. See if there we go.
Lows 46 to 52. Monday and Monday night, partly cloudy. Highs near 80. Lows in the lower to mid 40s. Tuesday, mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of rain. Tonight to 9 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time Friday. Watch, temperatures as low as 32 will result in frost formation. Where?
So that's WXM50 in Greeley.
Central and East Colorado. When? From midnight tonight to 9 a.m. Mountain. For 40s. Precipitation 40%. The Denver, Colorado climate summary for yesterday, October 23rd, 2024. Yesterday's high temperature was 77 degrees and the low 42 degrees. No precipitation fell yesterday, which leaves the monthly total 0.11. This is 0.67 inches below the normal amount of 0.78.
Yeah, we're pretty hot. That's a KEC 76 in Denver. Pretty good signal there. This one isn't as sensitive as my Midland radio. I didn't bring those. I actually I put my WR100 next to my WR120 now. So hey Iowa Hank. All right, let's yeah, very crackly sounding indeed. Looks like the sun is coming out from the clouds now. So in a second, NHK should start the Burmese language broadcast. Apparently, the intro they use for the Burmese broadcast, I think, has been used since like the 80s on other broadcasts. Oh, you got WWV 10 megahertz. Nice. No problem, Smiley. Here it goes.
Internet စာမျက်နှာကနေလည်းသတင်းနဲ့အစီအစဉ်တွေကိုကြည့်ရှုနားဆင်နိုင်ပါတယ်။ nhk.jp/BURMESD လို့ရေးပြီးရှောက်ပြနိုင်ပါတယ်။ဒီမှာစကားကို online ကနေခမဲ့သင်ယူလေ့လာနိုင်ပါတယ်။
That is funny that you hear radio. What? That is funny. Oh, that is great. I actually passed by that 50,000 watt like religious station that is near me the other day. Let's check Voice of Korea again. Yeah, if you're willing to, if you want to upload them to your YouTube channel, I'd be more than happy to watch them. The music on Voice of Korea is always so weird. And I never understand it. I mean, what is with that synthesizer, man? That gives me like Radio Mayak vibes. That interval. You know, the interval signal.
Kind of plays it down a little bit in a way that I don't
Radio New Zealand's starting to fade out.
Advisable really, and it doesn't really get on. I think this is what
Hello, good morning. Thank you.
yeah, right back on the what Kitty says, and it's just all that kind of contrast, right? I mean, it's the way where someone sits down and gets talking.
For a second here, because I'm right next to a baseball field, I thought one of these lamps was like rocking back and forth, but it's just the clouds moving that made it look like it.
Meant to be a personal and personal product.
That is funny.
Bit of a tough one. Yeah,
Let's try 15034 here. I want to see if we can get the Trenton military. I was actually listening to them last night on 6754.
No, miss, feeling 2,900.
Oh yeah, they're there.
-4, dew point, -6, altimeter 2930, feeling variable between 2,300 feet and 2,900 feet. Bridge. Godred, time 14000, wind variable at 2, fog okay, temperature 15, Viewpoint 11.
Yeah, I had to fine tune it there.
0 hectopascal.
I might have to tighten my telescopic antenna again. That would be the 4th time I've had to tighten the screw on the back. The first time it was like so loose feeling, so yeah, I just have to go back and tighten that screw again.
Temperature 21. Viewpoint 15. Altimeter 1027 hectopascal. Brig. Terminal forecast. Terminal forecast. Progress. Progress. No report received. Brig. Brig. No report received. Brig. Ancona Falconera. Ancona Falconera. No report received. Brig. Zulu. No report received. Brig. This military. Clinton military. Time 143500. Aviation weather report.
So I just got the identification there.
Weather report. Shannon. Time 143.
Oh, what is that other one? Let's try 12365, see if we can get the, I think they might have just ended transmissions there. For the, VMC in Australia. Near the US. Oh! Well, I didn't expect to get a fax from New Orleans, I think that is. Well, okay then, I did not expect that. The Japanese slot machine. Let's try 9705 now, because I wonder if Furusun no Kasi is on. Yeah, there they are. Furusun no Kasi.
しかし、その後、日本側からこれらが確認され、不自然な点があることを指摘されると、
From the transmitters in Taiwan.
この確認書は調査団訪問
They're also
したも
on
のであることを認めました。
9685.
他には、市川さんの死亡を確認する証拠は何ら提示されていません。日本政府は、市川修一さんを含む
You know something I've noticed? I've seen China hasn't used bandwidths of 16 kilohertz in a long time for like China Radio International and such. I don't know what happened to that. Maybe it's just me, but
ご説明しました。拉致問題解説でした。
Oh, by the way, Voice of Hope Africa is back now. What is the frequency? What is the 31 meter band frequency they're on right now? Because I don't have access to schedules. Can somebody tell me what the frequency is? While we do that, let's check Voice of America in Korean on 9405.
북한을 방문한 팔라우 선적의 CC-9와 이 선박에 실린 북한
So there's 968, 9405, and then 12080.
CC-9호는 지난 4월 말부터 5월 초까지 북한 해역에
Which they always shut off 9405 first, and 12080 is the one I usually get the interval signal on.
선박에서 북한 선수
9680, okay, let me try that real quick.
자금을 압류.
Nothing that I'm getting, unfortunately. Weird. It's that CRI in Russian. Oh, yeah, and it is sandwiched between Furusa no Kasi and CRI in Russian. Let me do a 31-meter band scan here.
제대로 기존 식당에 행사받으면 건설업에 종사하고
I don't think I've ever gotten the 9425 frequency of Voice of Korea before. Just the 9435. If you want to hear the sounds of people who are probably starving to death. So who is not ready for Adventist World Radio to go completely 100% only on KDSA in Guam? Me! Honestly, that's very sad that they've done that. For a second there, I thought Mr. Adrian Peterson died. I didn't realize that he was just retiring. I do actually have a QSL signed from him, though. They were doing a 2023 special QSL thing. I heard them from the Dushanbe Orzu transmitter site in Tajikistan. So that was a pretty good one. Oh, that's KNLS in Alaska, right? So I was wondering if I should write to them because I was listening to their transmission from Madagascar last night. And I've always heard them in the past, but it's just I don't want to wake up till 2 in the morning, to stay up for that. But then again, I probably will have to because I've been trying to get Voice of Mongolia, and I've been hearing a weak carrier. I think the other day I heard faintly the interval signal at 1430, like under Voice of Korea and such. Well, Voice of Korea was just non-existent on that frequency, but there's radio teletype on 12015, so... So yeah, I need to remember to keep looking into that broadcast and listen to it, because then I want to write to them. I love the intro to all their broadcasts, that like intro jingle. It just always makes me feel welcome, such like that. And it's like, out of all of the religious stations on shortwave, I feel like that one is, it's between like AWR. I don't hear much Transworld Radio, so I don't know about that one. But like the fact that they also give you just music and other things, too, instead of something like Brother Stare, Or what was that guy that everybody's calling the Screaming Preacher? I think it's a CNR1 jammer, a 9660.
네,
Виктор Гюго говорил о том, что по количеству хранилищ
The CRI and Russian broadcast.
Нотр-Дам не может сравниться с огромным и завораживающим Йенниньеном. К сожалению, оценить все
Oh, for everyone interested, I've just been updating my transmitter map a lot. I've been finding a lot of more former transmitters, so if y'all wanna check out my transmitter map again, feel free. 15505 AWR in English from Tajikistan. Oh, yeah, let's try 15505 right now. I have something really weak on 15505. Also, speaking of my transmitter map, I found 2 transmitters from Kazakhstan. Apparently they're kind of like the ones in Tashkent in Uzbekistan and the 2 Dushanbe transmitters in Tajikistan, where for a while there they would just relay various radio stations until like 2012 that they ceased. One of them is still, like, the antennas and stuff are still left there. The other, all the antennas have been removed and they've built something on one of the parts where the antennas are, but thanks to satellite imagery that you can go back, you can take a look at it. So it's definitely one of those Russian built ones where it has like 2, it's like the if you've seen the Tashkent transmitter, how it has like the 2 buildings and the antennas that surround it in like a giant rectangle. That's the kind it was. I think other ones that had that type of model was Dusheti in Georgia, and some other ones I can't think of off the top of my head, but yeah. Hey Arnie, how are you? Oh wow, yeah, I've really wanted to go on like one of those SDRs in Russia and like try and record Voice of Tajik, especially the English broadcast. The problem is China decides to ruin it, just like they always do. Like to ruin every broadcast. Afghanistan 1107. Dang, wow. Whatever happened to Radio Afghanistan? That's my question. Whatever happened there? I was also trying to, for my transmitter map, I was trying to look at transmitters in Iraq, except I can't find any of the Radio Baghdad transmitters at all. Oh, and Arnie, I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts about Iceland going off the air? Which is funny because I don't think they'll write back. I wrote a letter to them, sent it off like a couple weeks ago. It probably hasn't even made it because it takes like a month at the standard rate for international mail here to get to the place. And they shut it off. But I guess to me it makes sense if they were already having transmitter problems. Like, we're going to sign off in like at the end of the year anyway, so there's no point in funding this, but last thing I need them to do is blow down knock down the antenna, because that would basically knock down the tallest structure in Iceland. But that means the last state broadcaster in the Nordic countries on AM radio is Norway, because of that 1 kilowatt NRK P1 transmitter up in Longyearbyen. Yeah, that's what I wrote in my letter was like, come on, man. You had 2 transmitters that covered the whole country of Iceland. You don't need 3,000 FM transmitters for, especially for whatever it's called, especially for the fact of like, even if it's just for the first channel, which is only talk, like, you don't need high fidelity FM stereo for that. Something there on 9940. Whew. Trying to untangle that. There we go. Weak carrier of 9955 WRMI. Which is a problem because out of all the spots, I have like a certain amount of loud noise specifically on 9955, so I can't listen to Radio Prague. And 9955 seems to be one of those transmitters from WRMI where like the audio level or the modulation is so low. It's like, what are they doing? Are they going Cuba style here? Oh dear, not WWCR. Hey, no problem, Smiley. I need to tune my airband a lot more. I don't do it a lot. I don't know why. Good old 2.5 megahertz. By the way, fun fact, the telephone number that you can call to get the time from WWV has been the same phone number since they switched to announcing the time every 1 minute, from every 5 minutes to 1 minute. So it's been the same phone number since 1971.
At the tone, 14 hours, 52 minutes, coordinated universal time. Hours, 54 minutes.
I didn't know about the transmitters in Romania skipping. Ah, sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Yeah, it's probably because, yeah, they're probably using high frequencies and such. I don't know. Do you get the 5910 frequency?
At the tone, 14 hours, 55 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Is it pretty good there? How is the medium weather? I mean, it's starting to get nighttime down in Europe, I'm sure, right? Let's listen to the NHK radio interval signal. Which, by the way, for all of you, the question is, should we listen to the Voice of America sign-off? Or should we listen to the Voice of Korea sign-on in English? Oh yeah, Romania has like a strong network of transmitters. It's like if you're in, according to the SDRs that are tuned, if you're in like Eastern Europe or like in Turkey or Middle East or whatever, it's like you get Romania, and then if you're on Western Europe, you get Spain. Sweet. Yeah, we'll do VOK. I always listen to the Voice of America sign off at like 1830 UTC on 17530 anyway, so. Let's see if they are just open carrier right now on 11710. I think that's open carrier. Yeah, it's open carrier. If we're getting 40 dBu and it's like no noise out here. Though I wonder which one is better, 9435 or 11710. Yeah, I know VOK does the thing. The only problem is I only get like the interval signal like once when I do voice Voice of America, so I'll have to see which one. Looks like I'm getting interference from welcome back, Smiley. Looks like I'm getting interference from a cell phone tower. I was down over there. 4G interference. Yeah, I don't start school, Smiley, for like an hour, so. Hey, thanks, Smiley. The good old Voice of Korea empty carrier before the broadcast starts. Here we go. 15 UTC. There we go.
This is Voice of Korea.
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 Here we go. Good old national anthem. Good old voice of Korea. Yeah, I always get a really good signal here, Arnie, because the North America beam, the 9435 and 11710. According to them, I think we're gonna still have the same frequencies for B24 schedules, because like after the news they announce. Iowa Hawk, I have been thinking about getting a ham license. I know I have some family members who want to study with me and such, so we've been planning on trying to go for that. We have local ham clubs who do the test like once every other month or something like that, so we've wanted to try and do that. They're also in like in a park area, so when they have like big events or like big contests, they will all set up and such. Daniel L, the A24 schedules is, so every year, I'd say every summer, winter, schedules change due to it being summer in like northern hemisphere, winter down in the south, winter up north, summer down south. And so frequencies will change, and the HFCC, the High Frequency Coordination Conference, I think is what it stands for, is where not all stations, but most stations submit like their frequencies that they're going to be using and times and such. And so usually, it took me a little while to learn this, but A is usually the summer, so it goes from like the end of March and such. Like, oh, okay, yeah. So A is the March to October, late October. B is the October to March, and the year basically just means what year it's gonna be.
Here is the immortal revolutionary period.
Which I always like going on EIBI Space, and I enjoy hearing. I enjoy hearing or looking on EIBI Space. They have an archive to where you can go back to, I think, like A02 schedules. So I like to look back at the like what you could hear in the early 2000s on shortwave. Yeah, we actually have like a railroad station in my town. It passes through like a bunch of Colorado. In fact, the town I used to live in was built around the train. There's a specific street where like the train, like there's houses on that street, and the train cuts right through the middle of the street. Oh, hold up, we gotta salute the leaders, the dead leaders. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I was wondering. I heard the change on the European frequencies, because I didn't know for sure, because they always announced that it was 13.76 and 15.245 megahertz. Well, technically it's 15.245.2.
You're listening to VOA, Voice of Korea News Now.
There it goes again.
Putting efforts into raising the level of modernization.
I actually used to live right by the train. Yeah, it was funny to go to. I actually have to I see those railroad tracks all the time and such. I think it's here we have Burlington Northern Santa Fe, BNSF. And then down in Denver, you can actually you can take Amtrak trains, the passenger trains, and go up into the mountains and see the beautiful views and such. According to what I think it was, until 1982, it used to go up into Cheyenne, Wyoming, and then go down into like Utah, and then you could split into different parts where you could go to Portland, Oregon, or something like that, San Francisco, California, and such. But they changed the track to go through the mountains for better scenery, because they hoped it would attract viewers. And there are people in Wyoming who were upset because they would take that train all the time to go from Cheyenne to Denver or Denver to Cheyenne.
To produce thousands of kilowatt hours of electricity every month for powering all the equipment and getting other benefits in its activities. The car repair shop of the Bureau for Affairs with Diplomatic Corps introduced the systematic Petalone solar power plant and built its
South Korea is always that hard one to catch. It's like you have to listen on the 15575 frequency to North America, otherwise you don't hear them. Except I hear the Russian broadcast on 15245, or sorry, 15265 at 18 UTC via Wooferton. Yeah, I think, isn't that the Europe English broadcast, I think? Why is there so much interference all of a sudden? Like, we were having no interference all of a sudden, now it's... Oh, yeah, 9740. Let me try 9740. Yeah, it got super noisy on the bands. I just realized I forgot to listen to the interval signal for TWR Eswatini. Very nice. I sometimes hear those coast to coast repeats all the time. I think I was listening, I think it was a couple weeks ago, and all of a sudden I just tuned by, and what they should have been playing the new coast to coast. They were playing an old coast to coast AM. And or unless are you meaning just coast to coast from like AM stations east and west. But I think it was on WHO in Des Moines, Iowa. Oh, okay, yeah, so with Art Bell. Yeah, I was hearing an old Art Bell replay. I think it was on WHO. Let's do a 25 meter band scan, this time starting at the top of the band and going down. Speaking of which, I actually heard BBC very well. I think it's from Tashkent on 9895 last night, 02, just before 02 hours UTC. Heck yeah. I think wasn't Art Bell a ham radio operator too, I believe. Oh, there are pictures of the antenna. I'll have to look at those. I want to see that antenna, right? I love looking at shortwave antennas and such. 15 UTC is usually when a lot of the signals from Asia start to fade out. Oh, there's Yemen radio.
Para que eso sea una promoción y eso también con fuerza.
Sí, eso es bien curioso cuando funciona y logra.
I always laugh because I tell my friends when they're like sensitive to high pitched noises, I always tell them I've gotten used to high pitched sounding noises because I have to deal with them when listening to broadcasts sometimes. When I don't have a bandwidth selector when using my older radios, I have to listen to this.
Darte una vuelta por estos mundos o está regulado también.
Sí, el día pasado fui a pagar a alta favor que lo venía.
But I always try to be kind with other people. Like when I pass by people or something, I don't want to blast loud, high-pitched, squealing carriers, so I just turn my volume down or off tune a little bit. Oh yeah, let me try REE 15520. Yeah, we got REE 15520. And 17715. I didn't know the 17715 frequency was on right now. Nothing there on 17715. It'll be I'll have to start listening to the, because I think I've got I think tomorrow's the last English broadcast on 17855 for North America, because after that they'll be moving down, unless they suddenly change frequencies, they'll be moving down to 9690, which would be good for the East Coast of North America, but not so much for the West Coast until later in the winter time. Oh, let's try 15215. I think that should be it. Soon that'll be no more Adventist World Radio from Austria. From 100 kilowatt transmitters, because all the 300 ones are retired. When they were blowing those antennas, I thought it was weird that they were saying the famous ones were those ones that are like the steady situated curtain antennas. I thought, like, when I think of Moosbrunn, Austria, I think of that rotating shortwave antenna that they have. Oh, they already removed the 300 kilowatt antennas. Wow. They're getting ready. They're getting ready to go bye-bye. Yeah, it's weird because I think I've heard it confirmed and such from I think that's just like ham radio breakthrough or something. I keep hearing I know it's confirmed, but I wonder if AWR is trying to be quiet about it, thinking that it'll go by and nobody will notice, but everybody at this point notices. I haven't checked Wavescan to see if they've said anything about it, which I've heard things about, like wondering that if, like, because I also heard a theory that AWR would completely shut off all transmissions in 2025, that if Wavescan would continue, which I think this might be true, because since it's already produced in the WRMI studios and such, like if Jeff White or something starts researching and stuff like that, because I know it's researched by Ray Robinson and Mr. Adrian Peterson, that I think maybe the Wavescan program would still continue. To which then I can continue my vast collection of AWR Wavescan programs from like the beginning of April this year. the temperature outside. It's still 57 degrees. My hands are a little bit chilly. There we go, WWV. Oh, and RWM Moscow. Seems like under that.
The estimated planetary K-index at 1500 UTC on October 24th was 1.00. Space weather for the past 24 hours has been strong.
Whoa.
Radio blackouts reaching the R3 level occurred. Space weather for the next 24 hours is predicted to be minor. Radio blackouts reaching the R1 level are likely.
Not radio blackouts. I don't need radio blackouts right now. I need to DX.
Acetone, 15 hours, 19 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Yeah, weird. Oh, I didn't know. Just is the AWR Italian transmissions on medium wave, or are they on what's that called? Or are they on shortwave? Which, by the way, why is nobody using the Armenia transmitter site for shortwave? I don't understand. Like, they should be using it more. Oh, Vienna in Germany. Okay. I still hope this goes through because I heard some things about it. I don't know. I think they're waiting approval. But I heard there's some Christian minister or some Christian program place that wants to put programs into Russia. They want to use the old medium wave transmitter at the former YLE Radio Finland Pori transmitter in Finland, the 963 kilohertz signal, which I think was what, like 600 kilowatts or something like that. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, I think they used those. Yeah, that was very the times and such like that to avoid the Turkish jammers. I do have gloves, not with me. It's a little bit chilly, but it's not too chilly. But definitely this winter it will get super chilly. Yeah, Brother Stare. Oh, I can't with them. The WR My Schedule has a complete section dedicated to the Overcomer ministry.
Acetone, 15 hours, 21 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Let's take a look at 20 meters.
But when my paperwork went, it was right when the FCC shut down for the, redoing the whole FCC database in the computer. So I didn't actually get my ticket until late 78. And I've actually kept that novice call. They're getting kind of scarce. But I took the last 20-word night code test that the Teton Club that puts on the ham bench. And I
Agreed, Daniel.
20-word night code test they ever gave.
Yeah, 963 would be a really good, would be a really fun signal.
Never did. Life got in the way, but I finally got it in 2000, just before they dropped the requirement over.
Yeah, I did have to take the 20.
We need high power medium wave back in the Nordic countries.
And I took the novice at the FCC office in Los Angeles in 1964. And as you know, the rules then were very much different from what they are now. Well, good.
I went and carried on with Congress Site and located the original full front and keeping
Let's try 530. Oh yeah, 50 kilowatts would be great enough. Why did I tune to 17530 like I'm listening to the Voice of America? 17480 is the bottom. It does do sideband. Yeah, there are a couple of music stations. I don't use the sideband a lot. I listen to a lot of the international broadcasters more. Wow, really good signal from A24 FM, Algeria. Speaking of medium wave, I've been recording a lot of LBC News for its last days before it goes off in October. The QESDRs in where's that located? In near London. I've got probably a couple hours of programming recorded, and I still want to keep recording. I didn't realize that LBC News was owned by Gold, so that makes sense why they're trying to kick them off medium wave. I've never had A24 FM so strong before. What is this? Oh yeah, China Radio International via the Mali relay in Africa.
Between the U.S. and China is positive. It doesn't lead somewhere dark. So I wanted to ask you, why is the U.S.-China relationship important, and what is that today? It's so important because any way that you slice it, any way you look at it.
Morning. Oh, well, at least that sun shining on me is warming me up. Feels nice. It's probably going to get to like 60 degrees through the day. That's what happens here. That's why I always slip on ice a lot here, is because we have really good black ice, because it warms up during the day, so then all the ice melts, and then it freezes at night. So then it's just a constant cycle of it, so it just makes it super slick. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's oh yeah, I think because it's sitting in Poland. Yeah, it'll feel weird when we all fall back an hour here in the U.S., except in some states like Arizona and such. That I remember last year when we fell back an hour, I would go on like the QESDR map, load up a QESDR, and I'd see entire Europe is already like dark. I'm like, well, that's new. Oh, by the way, I'm assuming that was CRI in Chinese. I also remember hearing a thing of potential that there would be using that, I think it's Yakuta is the name, that mothballed transmitter in Russia, is that they were going to try and revive that on shortwave again, because with Radio Russie, because they said it was impossible to cover FM, but I haven't heard much about that since. The good old sunset. I love our sunsets here. It usually gets darker pretty much faster here because the mountains, they just cover half of the sunset, so we get like darkness probably 30 minutes earlier. Oh yeah, that's Voice of Turkey, 17815. Which, if I'm correct, Emmler came after. Emmler was not the first transmitter by the Voice of Turkey. I mean, probably not, but it wasn't the first high-powered. They had another one because I think Emler, at least, they got all their, what's that called? They got all their 500 kilowatt transmitters in like the 90s. So I think that transmitter started in the 90s, and it starts with like a C. I can't remember the exact name of the transmitter. It's on my transmitter map though. I put it as it was 99% like demolished because it was, they left, I don't understand this sometimes, but a lot of places, like sometimes when they're removing the antennas, they'll remove everything but one. Like I think that's what happened with the BBC relay station in Taiwan, or not Taiwan, Thailand. They left one curtain antenna left, and they left the rotatable antenna. Oh dear. Hopefully China won't still be on 11815. I don't usually get China. I usually get Japan. But hopefully, because if Turkey will start to come in, that's gonna suck for the English broadcast here. Because I listen to that broadcast a lot. Then again, when I do fall back, I'll have to listen at 7 instead of 8 o'clock. But then that means at 8 o'clock here, I'll be able to listen to the Voice of Korea. So instead of actually getting news from Japan, I'll be getting propaganda. Let's try the, before we do 19 meter band, let's try 22 meter band. I remember start of the B23 schedules, everybody's going crazy over that 2-hour English BBC broadcast on, what was that, BBC English broadcast from Wolferton, 2 hours of English on 25.9. Everybody loved that. I mean, it came so well into like North America and such. Radio Marti. Oh, Vatican Radio is also dropping some at the start of the season. No! They can't do that. No. Please. I love that interval signal. They can't be doing that to us. Do they QSL? Oh, look, CRI in English. I actually heard this frequency really well of CRI English last night. I mean, it's not the same anymore because it's all CGTN radio now, but... Yeah, they've been cutting a lot of things, isn't it? Hard Talk won't be BBC anymore, right? That's being cut too. Oh yeah, the World Radio Network Russian broadcasts. I always forget about these. Pardon my coughing. I recovered from a sickness a couple weeks ago, but it's just constant drainage. That's what I usually get. I'll be fine, and then it's like drainage for 2 weeks afterwards. But the coughing is slowing down, so that's nice.
新的养生赛道，也吸引了不少消费者前来打卡。作为中华民族瑰宝，就微笑蕴含着丰富的文化内涵和医疗实践成果。
Oh, CRI Turkish service.
更
Okay.
加贴近日常的形式出现在人们的生活中时，自然能够引发兴趣和共鸣。
I know. I think according to your video, Alexander Alp, you said on the what was that? The 09 UTC Indonesian service had that like the former Radio Peking or Radio Peking / Beijing interval signal of the east is red on chimes. Looks like some jamming. Oh, look, another train has arrived. 2 trains in a row this morning. I don't usually hear that often. I've been trying to look at the where can I find the B24 schedule so far? Because I tried looking at hfcc.org, but I can't find it on the HFCC.
Strengthened with all might.
You know, I would be surprised if China actually cuts broadcasts, because all it seems to be doing is they cut languages to fake ones, which is the bummer with the German broadcast, because isn't the German broadcast one of those fake broadcasts where it's just been the same music that has been since like a couple years now? Start at the top of the 19-meter band. First try WWCR. There they are. WWCR and their good old whining transmitters. Which is what the Voice of America ones are starting to do. So I'm so I'm trying to wonder if Kilowatt, do you know like a website I can try and find that potentially? I remember listening to the special Wolferton broadcast because what was it? That special Wolferton broadcast. I remember that it was actually a year ago. I think it was October last year. That was pretty fun. The North American frequency broadcast was using one of those Marconi BD-272 transmitters from the 60s. Which, being of transmitters, I think I was saying because the Voice of America Tinang relay, or the USAGM Tinang relay in Philippines, it was... Why am I spacing it? I think the transmitters are from like the 70s, but it makes me wonder if they would close that relay in the future if the transmitters are like gone, you know, or like they can't afford new transmitters if they do become broken enough.
And the reporter.
What was that on 15735? I remember I have a recording somewhere I made of it was what was it called? I'm trying to think of. Which, by the way, okay, I got sidetracked. By the way, I do have, I think I didn't get the very beginning, but I have almost basically the entire broadcast of the Wolferton at 80 special. I don't know, should I upload that at all? Something there on 15680. Okay, question for all you guys. I've done this a lot, but specifically talking, if you could bring back any shortwave station from Africa, which one would you bring back? And that could mean older variants, like for example, like you could say either like Channel Africa or Radio RSA. Which I think Radio RSA used to, I think Radio RSA on the New Year's Eve, you could actually like call in and such like that. But I think they had like different, like you could call in, like they'd have like a number in North America and stuff like that, so you weren't paying like an expensive long distance bill. Yeah, Channel Africa, that entire transmitter site is just sitting there. It's like, come on, use it, bring it back. The thing that transmitters hate is dust. Is that English or is that a jammer? I think that's a jammer. Hey, no problem, Smiley. There we go. Now there's the Voice of America. The voice of my country, which just focuses on Africa now. Vatican Radio.
ረቡዕ ጥቅምት 13 ቀን 2017 ዓመተ ምህረት ከሰዓት በኋላ ከተመረጡት ከነዚህም መካከል 12ቱ የጉባኤው አካላት ከሆኑት ሀገረ ስብከቶች መካከል ሲሆኑ ከምስራቃዊ ካቶሊካዊ አብያተ ክርስቲያናት
I believe so, because I think they have a station on 657 kilohertz. Yeah, I think that's what I caught the other day was when I was listening. Though I like their new interval signal, I've heard some of the interval signal, which it's like the same variant but a different like musical instrument or something. I wish they used that old interval signal version. I'd have to check MW list, medium wave list. Radio Exterior de España. So the question is, if the Radio Exterior de España frequency of 15390 for Africa is off, I'm assuming, does that mean that they're replacing that one with one of the new transmitters? Which is weird because I don't, for some reason, sometimes the 17855 frequency will be off for like a couple minutes before the interval signal, but it will eventually turn on and such, and sometimes it's on, so I don't, something's going on there. I think it's just the whole thing with replacing the transmitters and such. Hey, thanks, Alexander Alp. I have what's it? I take Spanish class in school, so it's like I can only pick up on a few words, but not much. Because those Spanish lessons are definitely not centered around what you would expect to hear on a radio station. Something on 15460. Oh, is that the REE 15390? Speaking of REE. Which makes me wonder whatever happened to that Costa Rica relay, because I was looking at it. The antennas are still there and everything. I don't know if the transmitters are still there or not. If not, I'm sure they'd need some work, you know. It's been forever. Also, what is it with those broadcasts that I always hear? Because I always hear that people in Russia, they'll have like some special like broadcasts about like Radio Mayak or something like that are on the relayed from like the Armenia transmitter, or what else is it called? I know they had those Radio Rossi tests back in October last year as well. And I think that was when they advanced from when they were testing from 100 kilowatts to 600 kilowatts, which wasn't the max power, but it was still pretty good for 549. And I remember hearing those broadcasts. They had such a wide signal that on the SDR in the Netherlands, I could record at like the max that bandwidth it would allow, which was like 13 kilohertz. And it sounded so good, and like such like that. I still have the recording somewhere, but because I know they can't, from the transmitter in Callan Grid, I know they can't do shortwave because all the shortwave antennas were removed, or not the shortwave antennas, all the shortwave transmitters were removed, but the antennas remain, and I know they recently just restored those. My question is, I wonder if they didn't have a test broadcast for a while because they still had to pay, because I think they did like a 24-hour test. I'm sure they had to pay quite a big bill after that, after 24 hours of 600 kilowatts of power. And I'm glad the Sekunai station in Lithuania is being used, at least for medium wave. I just wish they would use it for shortwave, because I know a couple of the shortwave antennas and one of the medium wave antennas was removed. I think they had a total of 3, but they still have 2, so now they have 2, which is good for, you know, the Radio Signal on 666 kilohertz and Radio Lenta / Prava on 1557. Something weak there on 15255.
Well, what is the right way for the United States to go, and why has it chosen not to?
Oh, there you go, CRI. On exactly the frequency for Voice of Korea, which are they on 15245 right now?
You have to let curiosity win. You have to let friendship win. You can't let fear or uncertainty define your judgment.
Discussion keeps the world turning. This is Roundtable. Doo, 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 doo.
These lines in your hand we put. Right?
Speaking of which, I know we were talking about Musbrun. Whenever we hear Musbrun, Austria, I think they're gonna do a special broadcast when they do go off in August. Exactly, it's so true. I hear their voices all the time. You know it's not a normal shortwave day when you don't hear their voices. I think that's transworld radio from Eswatini. Oh, a carrier popped up there, I guess. Speaker's getting a little bit warm. Oh, it's black colored, you know. I remember hearing a story from someone. They had this like Radio Shack time cube thing, which would tune into WWV on 15 megahertz. But back then they used to off tune it to a 15070 to hear the BBC. And then they eventually got a shortwave radio, which is a bummer. Whatever happened to the long time 15070 frequency? I still think it's cool that some stations still use the original frequencies, like KBS World Radio, or I mean back when they were called Radio Korea International, has used the 15575 frequency forever. But I know that's all. I think the reason is because the transmitter can only go from like 14 to 16 megahertz, which is interesting. I've never seen a transmitter that can go between 14 and 16 megahertz. Because usually don't all the transmitters go from like cover most all shortwave bands, and then if you want you can ask for like for them to modify to cover 11 meters or 90 meters or something like that. Let's try 25 meters now. Something on 11610. I know they're not on right now, but I always want to hear the RTMY FM. Because isn't that the last signal from like Kajang, the Malaysia transmitter? Hey, thank you, LG Kolagal. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct. I've heard the KCBS Pyongyang 11680 frequency quite a couple times. And there's Voice of Korea again, which I can actually hear the 11710 broadcast all the way up until they sign off with the KCBS relay until I think 1750. Which is funny because I don't know if they still do this, but I know someone back then heard them and wrote to them. Not only did they send them a postcard with like people putting out a fire, they also sent them a propaganda book and everything like that. I was like, what the heck? I was like, first of all, I didn't even think North Korea would just take standard mail like that. Oh no, sorry. I have to meet to Voice of Korea standard. I have to call them the DPRK or the Workers' Party of Korea. Sorry, I just can't call them North Korea. Oh, look, there they are again. They're back. Whew, moved my camera there. Which when I heard them last night between 13640 and 17640 was when I heard them. 13640 was strong, but I was debating if I should listen to that or BBC World Service on 9895 because I don't hear either one too often. I went with the BBC World Service on 9895. It was a little bit weaker than the CRI, but I think they were probably using that Kashisawa transmitter in the very west of China, which I think they use all the time to Europe and such. And we're talking 500 kilowatts versus 100 kilowatts. NHK is still really good with their 300 kilowatt transmitters and Koga Yamata. Which when I heard the interval signal via France last night, it felt so weird because the France transmitters have a higher bandwidth capability than the Japan transmitter, so that it sounded like more high fidelity, the interval signal. I was like, what is this? Because I think the France is like 13 kilohertz wide and these are like 8 kilohertz wide. Which I don't know why, because it's a... Morning.
Liam, right?
Yeah.
I'm Whitney.
Hey. Oh yeah, I remember you.
Good to see you. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Good. Anything good weather?
No, not recently, just weather.
Yeah.
The normal sunshine that we've been getting here, you know, so. Yeah. So, hey, thanks, you too. People I've met in the park there, people here are always so kind. Always puts a smile on my face. Wow, yeah, sometimes it takes them like forever to respond. I don't know with Iran or India. Sometimes I think it depends. I know Japan, if you write, I think you have to write online on their like feedback thing, which I did. I gave them my address because with stations these days, I don't know whether they EQSL or not. So I say I prefer ones over post and give the address if I haven't written to them and it's via email, or if I write to them via post, I give them my email and such, because it's like, I don't know if you guys issue EQSLs or QSLs or if you don't, but I sent Japan my reception report and my address, and they sent me a very nice postcard in the mail of cherry blossom trees. For some reason, I act surprised that 11880 TWRS Watini was off, but it's only a half an hour broadcast, so. Oh, what is on 11890? It's got the 1 kilohertz tone, so I think it's coming from the Philippines. But before I end the stream, we got to hear Vatican Radio 15565 with the interval signal. Not recently, Smiley. I wrote to a couple medium wave stations here. So far, I haven't received anything back.
በዝግጅቶቻችን ላይ ጥያቄ ወይም አስተያየት ካላችሁ amharico@rcpc በሚለው የኢሜይል አድራሻችን ወይም ቫቲካን ኒውስ አምሃሪክ በሚለው የፌስቡክ ገጻችን ላይ ተጻፋችሁልን መልእክቶቻችሁ ይደርሱናል። በነገው ዝግጅታችን እስከምንገናኝ በደህና ቆዩን። ኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ ይባረክ። ላውዴቱር ኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ።
not the best at writing QSL cards. I know everybody does it differently, but I've been debating if I should make a video on how to write a QSL card. But I know there are definitely plenty of those, and from people who have done shortwave like since the 80s, so 40-50 years, you know. Oh yeah, they cut the transmitter even though they don't need to. It makes sense on 15565 because it gets very weak when they change the Portuguese broadcasters. I think it's the last broadcast on 15565 that they do. And I think they switch antennas because it's like super weak. They cut the transmitter, then they turn it back on and it's like super strong again. Yeah, I should probably make a video on that. I know. Here it is again. They've returned. Yeah, official SWO channel. Yeah, I think that's the one I was talking about. Yeah. Gilles in Montreal, Canada. I love this interval signal, man. And knowing that it's coming from like Vatican City when it's more actually in Italy. Unless that is claimed Vatican City property, I don't know.
Wetu wa Afrika Mashariki na Kati.
Hii ni Radio Vatikani kutangazia katika lugha ya Kiswahili. Karibu ndugu msikilizaji wa Radio Vatikani popote pale ulipo, wakati huu ninapokutangazia.
Well, I've never heard the drum signal before, but well, hey everyone, thank you for joining. I know it's been forever since I've been live, but yeah, thank you all for joining, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. I'll leave you with Vatican Radio for the next 30 seconds. 73s to everyone.
Wataka kutambua kuwa hakuna jambo lolote linaloweza kuwatenga na upendo wake kiasi kwamba aliwaita rafiki zake. Kristo Yesu anapenda kuwapatia waja wake upendo na urafiki, na kwamba alitupenda sisi kwanza. Na kwa sababu ya Kristo Yesu nasi tumelifahamu upendo alilonalo Mungu kwetu sisi. Kwa niaba ya Angela Rezura, mimi ni Padre Richard Mjigwa, nakutakia usikivu mwema wa matangazo.